Good evening, folks. This is Joe Ramirez. Just wanted to touch base with you guys. Going to try and do audio commentary over the league match that was the finals of last month's league. That way you can get some video gameplay and just kind of let you know the thoughts on the matchup, kind of commentary like what's kind of going on, and kind of go through. That way you guys have a full feature match. From there that happened in our league play. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up that information here. Okay. I'm going to turn the volume on that all the way down, so that you just have my commentary here. And in this particular matchup, Kusik was running the Patriots, and I ended up running the Detroit Lions. After testing pretty thoroughly in this matchup, I felt that the Lions were by far the best team, just based on being able to modify grit twice per possession, once up and once down. And so, um, looking at a lot of the things that actually do grit, which is like challenge the offense, challenge the defense, and of course any turnovers, as well as the Lions themselves made a huge uh, stride to be like, this is by far the best team. So I did win the toss and I got to start the ball first. We did start the clock at 50 minutes. And I start off with Jared Goff drawing two plays, putting a play on the top of the deck. And then Williams says, untap your quarterback and draw two cards on an exhaust. So I'm able to do that and just gain huge advantage starting off right away. Then during prior to selecting play, he plays Acclimatize, and then I play Speed Kills, which then he plays Clean Slate, and I play Sideline Adjustment, picking up a Challenge the Defense. So currently showing Miraculous Play, Sharp Focus, Not This Sunday, and Challenge the Defense in my hand, along with 4 plays. I do have Jared Goff up and ready. Of course, TJ Hawkinson and Barry Sanders. As far as Hawkinson, it's basically anytime you have a successful run play, you will determine grit. If grit is 1 through 0, you gain an extra 15 yards on your run. So, of course, with the Lions, their synergy says whenever you determine grit, you can increase the grit by +2, or you can decrease it by -2, and that's or up to. It's up to 2 and up to, and down to 2. So essentially, you can modify it basically up to 40%, either up or down, 20% up, 20% down. So very strong for those particular effects. I think that Hakushin definitely gives, or Hawkinson, whatever the heck his name is, TJ, we'll call him TJ from now on. We pretty much know that he isn't the greatest. I mean, an extra 15 is whatever, especially if you're going to burn something as prevalent as a key grit check. As you can see here we go. We are taking a look at the on-field adjustment phase, where it looks like I have chose to run, and he has chose his defense. We're also calculating the total amount of yardage, which in this particular case, without having the CRD, we looked and got clarification that any of the multipliers such as speed kills and sharpen focus only modify the base yards of the play. So if you're a run play that goes 45, you're doubling or tripling only that, not any additional modifiers that are like come from players and different effects. So just something to keep in mind when you're playing. Now it's a successful play, so we're going to hawkish in here. It's a 5 and an 8, so it makes it a 3. Looks like I'm going to use Lion's Synergy here to give it -2. That way it makes it a successful extra 15. And at this point, we're looking at adding up everything and then giving a total yards. And then it looks like I used Hawkinson to actually run the ball. And with that run the ball, it looks like he will go the distance. So it's double the yardage plus the 15 is how it would work. We're calculating everything as far as, adding and subtracting here. I think we had a question, or I just kind of stated about Barry doing a double and then doubling the double, which does not work here. So looks like gained a total of 30 yards, moving from the 25 to the 45 of my opponent. Second down, 2 ticks off for the clock, making it 13. Draw at the end of the play, which we draw sack, which sack was really, really good in the Lions synergy to be able to determine grit. It says that you determine grit on a 4 or 5, the offense loses 10 yards on the play instead of yards gained or lost. So very, very good that you can modify and get that 4 or 5 with the Lions offense or synergy card. Looks like I go for run right and he goes all passes. Looks like a total of 4 strength. So 4 times 5 is 20. Currently moving 20 yards at the moment. We're sitting here at the 45. 20 yards. I could bury Sanders here, which would make it 40 and give me a first down, put me at the 5. I feel like it's just way too early to burn Barry Sanders' effect here. Just kind of creep in. Of course, we still have TJ who's gonna, try and get us an extra 15. He's still got plenty of defenders up to, make sure that, he stops the play. We determine grit for TJ. Looks like a 7 and a 6. And I've already gone down 2, so that'll be an unsuccessful TJ. I go to player designation. It looks like I'm going to designate TJ. And he's going to do chase. Looks like, so calculate from the 45. Gaining 15 yards to the 30. Third down. 11 click ticks on the clock here. Still pretty solid hand of 5. With Williams and golf, you usually get your hand pretty clogged up with the way a lot of your actions work. You want to do a good amount of offense and defense, but even so, like you're looking pretty good here where you don't want to use them. Looks like he's run middle, run right, the 6, and looks like I went for, I think that was run right. But I think we're calculating the total strength here. Looks like I'm going to drop down a triple yardage on sharpen focus. And he's going to false start. Now, we do have a conversation here coming up pretty soon about triple or sharpen focus or any card played prior to false start getting played. Now, Obviously, false start doesn't say cancel everything on the stack and restart the down. It just says you would restart the down. So on third down, it's restarted. I lose 5. Looks like he goes run left, run right. I go run right. Checking the total yardage here. He's already played a false start. So we're going to go into on-field adjustments here. But as I was saying, false start, doesn't state that it cancels out. Like it's not this Sunday, right? Not this Sunday literally says cancel an action card. But false start, the way it's ruled is that, and I'm going to play the miraculous play. That way I can push through for a touchdown here. Now, we get into looking at the rules as far as what the distance is, because I'm still showing sharpen focus being the next successful play. However, it was ruled that challenge the defense coming out. This is really, really, I think, in my opinion, it's a bad card. But being that it's a 9, it's a 1, and then I can +2 it because I've already gone down 2, so I get 3. Not very big. But challenge the defense is a card that or challenge the defense, challenge the offense. I don't think they're very great cards, but when you can modify grit by +2, -2, challenge the defense becomes so much of a threat in this particular game because just being able to modify your play to almost anything number that you want is actually really, really strong. But normally, I mean, it really doesn't. If you can't modify it, it's just a random dice roll and is not very good. But we do have a conversation about the false start triggering. Looks like TJ is going off here, and it's a 2, so it doesn't hit. But getting back to the point of false start, like false start is an omega busted card in the ruling that they have now is that anything played before it just gets swept away. You essentially play false start and then you just go everything just disappears and you replay the down from that particular point. So if you have something that goes, play my card, they say play their card, you say play your card. You could even play 2, 3, 4 cards, and then they just say false start or draw off sides, and then all those cards are just gone. So it's basically it's saying cancel all cards on the stack and replay the down and lose 5 yards. So it's currently how they rule it is a very, very strong card and probably needs to be stapled in every single deck on both. I liked it, false start being a good counter to um, you know miraculous play, but coming up into 2022, sharpen focus and speed kills. Like if you go to false start and my idea, I wasn't thinking that false start's just a omni negate. I just kind of figured it would replay the down and then the next followed up with a prevent defense. That way, even if they gain triple yards or double yards, it's only gaining 20 instead. And then you turn over the ball for things like sharpen focus in this case. So we're having a debate back and forth here about it saying, we just replay the down here, we don't replay the down. Everything still goes off. We had a debate of the miraculous play on defense says, obviously turn over the ball, gain it at the 15. False start does say in the CRD currently that any live ball turnover is offset by any replay down effect. So we're kind of looking through the rules of this here and kind of discussing that. During the game, we do come into, based on how it's worded and how it's ruled in the CRD and in rule book, that obviously, false start doesn't say cancel all plays played prior to this or actions prior to this. So in that particular case, we did rule it that sharpen focus would still affect the next play. However, in the meeting, very like a week after this particular game, said that that's not the case. But we played it through as if such. In this particular case, um, if that were the case, sharpen focus would have went away. I would have, miraculous played, and I would have gained 15 yards. I probably could have Barry Sanders at that point, but I don't, and I get a score here. However, we would have looked at gaining 15, put it on fourth down. I probably would have been, you know, um, at the 20, and more likely probably kicked a field goal instead of getting a touchdown here. As you'll see throughout the game, like it really won't matter. But it's good to know the rules as far as like what they are actually wanting cards to do. And I know that um, waiting for the new CRD. I have a lot of deck ideas for 2022 and things ready to rock and roll, but we really need to see what the new CRD is going to bring, how changes are going to be made. There is um, basically some things that were talked about, maybe having certain players be unique, and then basically all uniques. So miraculous play, any unique plays, and any unique players be unique, as in you can only have a one of those particular cards in the deck, period. So there's talks of making not this Sunday a unique card, so you can only run one of it. And if you have that unique card, you can't run miraculous play. You can't run a unique play or a unique player. So waiting on the CRD to come out so that we can take a look and see exactly what actually is going to make sense. So we finish the discussion. I give him the ball at the 25 and I score 7, which will bring us to 9 ticks. First down on his end. We will swap sides. And with Tabletop Simulator, being able to swap sides does seem a little bit faster because you can grab all cards same time, swap them out. But this is very time consuming on both ends, even in tabletop or in real life. As you can see, if you're looking at the clock right now, we're 33 minutes in, or 33 minutes left of our 50 minutes. And changing sides does take a little bit. You have to get set up, right here we're understanding he's reading what my defense does. I have to kind of look and read what his offense does because it's the first time we're actually seeing it. So there's a lot of kind of and I'm just kind of explaining here that looks like Quandre Diggs and Slay are really not going to do anything. My whole defense was Jeff Okuda and of course the rookie and Mr. Michael Jackson himself. But I was just explaining that 50% of my defense is versus pass, and of course his Patriots team was a run centric team with Mac Jones saying that all plays outside of your opponent's 40 is unstoppable. So kind of made it. Here I am reading over the cards here. He's going to play fatigue, basically fatigue out my board. I'm thinking about not this Sundaying it. But I realize that I'm okay with, fatigue happening. I cannot this Sunday something more important because I'm really, I have confidence in what my team can do as far as the grit. So I feel like sack is definitely a good spot for me right now where it doesn't matter. If he tries to get in, I can, just play the sack and modify the grit. So as we come out, the Patriots synergy card, every time he does a run play, he gets a counter. For every counter, he gains an additional 5 yards. Yeah, 5 yards. And your opponent's pass plays are 10 yards shorter. So he runs run right with a strength of 2. I've got run left, run middle, strength of 8, which makes it a strength of 0. So anything times 0 is 0. So he's going to go for 0 yards, which is excellent for me, especially with Mac Jones. Being that anything that he runs is going to be unstoppable. However, in this case, he's got an open run and he goes for 0 yards plus the synergy for 5. So he's going to gain 5 yards here on first down. So that's definitely a win for me. Go to second down, 9 ticks on the clock, draw an action into play. And what's great about this is I pull team synergy, which my patience was rewarded that prior to selecting play, I'm able to play team synergy to untap all my guys. So now I really feel like I'm up the advantage since his fatigue basically did nothing. And he goes for run middle, and I block pass. So with that, it looks like he's going to gain a total of 5 yards plus the 2 5-yard bonuses from the Patriots synergy. Puts it at 15 yards at the moment. And he's going to play speed kills. So he's going to go back 10 yards and double his yardage. And looks like I'm going to choose Jeff Okuda. And what Okuda says is on a tackle, we do grit. And I'm a 9 and a 2, so it's a 1, so it gains 5. And then I'm going to use the Lion Synergy to give it -1, looks like. And that would make it a 0. So it completely nullifies. Jeff Okuda says you choose grit, and then you grit times 5 is going to be your total yardage gain. So with Okuda, he basically nullifies any type of modifiers or anything like that. So in this case, I made the play 0 times 5, which is 0. And so he doesn't get any modifier from the synergy. He doesn't get a modifier from any other bonuses, and it just comes 5 instead, or 0 instead. Just because that's the way Jeff Okuda is worded as far as you gain this much instead. Anything that says instead will overroll or override the total yards gained or lost on the play. So good thing to keep in mind. Of course, with the Lion Synergy to be able to modify that, it makes it really, really good. Akuda's good on his own. To be able to do that on some scoring drives, you can actually do on its own, and it'll be fine. And here we go. He plays a unique run. I play middle right with 8. He's going to choose, obviously, a 1 on his grit to make it a 9. So he's gaining maximum yardage of 45 yards. And then he's going to sharpen focus. So now that Akuda's gone, we're talking sharpen focus. Of course, Mac Jones, he alludes that Mac Jones says that it's unstoppable. So does not matter if I pick the right play for this because he's going to go 45 yards plus the 3 counters on the Patriots. So he's going to go, 60 yards here. So I play sack on field adjustments to determine grit. On a 4 or 5, I lose 10 instead. And of course, I have the Lion Synergy here, which it looks like I didn't use it on Akuda, and he did gain 5 yards back from the check of a 1. And so I do have the ability to go +2 or -2 here. And 7 and 2 is a 9. And then even if I go down 2 or go up 2, it's not going to hit the grit. So it's a failed sack. And so when we come to designation, I'm going to designate the rookie. And the rookie says on a tackle, We determine grit. Oh, he's going to out position, and not this Sunday because it's very, very important here. So he says you determine grit, and then if you choose the correct grit, you turn over the ball. And so I'm looking through and I'm checking how many all passes he has because he has all passes is a 5. So I want to see, normally you should be running, well, before CRD, you'd be running about 4 to 5 of those. And so since I saw 3 of those, it helps me pick the grit. In this case, it's a 6 plus 7, which is a 3. I chose 5, which I'm going to choose the Lion Synergy to bump it up plus 2. And that's going to give me my 5. So I'm going to turn over the ball right there. 2 ticks off the clock. First down, 3 ticks on the clock now. And we'll change sides. End of the play, draw an action. Offense comes back on the field. Good field position at 35 or 25. That whole drive, he did not gain a yard. And here I was gonna do I was doing golf just to get him sideways. That way I could use Jameis and Winston or Williams. He tried to neutralize here, but I was like, it nullifies itself anyway by itself. But you know, I'm gonna Williams and ready golf to draw 2 actions, and of course he's gonna neutralize that. So okay, get stuck. No draw 2, which is fine. I've got a pretty good solid hand with solo strategy, sharpened focus, and speed kills. The looks like he sideline adjustment prior to selecting play. But I was debating on the solo strategy. I wasn't exactly sure if I wanted to put solo strategy in, simply for the fact that I mean, it just barely made the cut. Being able to modify whatever. I mean, I'm going to have all runs in my deck anyway, so to be able to modify that and pick whichever play I want, not only the grit or the right path. So you know, it gives you an open space to run. It's actually a really, really strong card if you go that route. Looks like he goes middle pass, and I'm going left. It looks like a 8 and 7 for the grit. So this is a pretty good yards. This is pretty good yards here. He's gonna knock this, or he's gonna miraculous play, which I have nothing to counter this. So he's gonna take over the ball on the 15. Boom. There it is. And we go down to draw action at the end of the play, which I go all green this time. Challenge the defense, speed kills, sharpen focus, and solo strategy. We go down to 1 tick on the clock and bring out my defense again. If you keep score, the rookie has so far made 100% turnover rate. We'll see if we can kind of keep that counter going here. He's 1 for 1. Looks like run right. It doesn't really matter what I chose on defense because obviously with Mac Jones, he's going to be unstoppable and he's going to sharpen focus. So triple the yardage on sharpen focus, try to get in score and tie up the game here. The good thing about this though is I do have Jeff Okuda and I have the rookie available. I'm going to Okuda this because Okuda guarantees that he can't get in, and if he can't get in, then sharpen focus says I take over the ball. So Yeah, so we're fine here. And it's a 8 plus 5, so it's a 3. And I really don't have to Lion Synergy, but why not? We're going to turn over the ball anyway, so we can make it a 1. And with making it a 1, it's 5 times 1. He gains 5 yards, and then he turns over the ball. I get, of course, I take a timeout to preserve the 1 click on the clock. And we get the ball back 7-0 with 20 seconds or 20 minutes still on the clock here. End of the drive, I do draw an action, which is another not this Sunday. I'm pretty stacked on the offensive hand here. 2 timeouts to try and get in there and score. And I do believe I do get greedy. Exact same play. Run left, and it blocks middle right, so it's successful. Yep, and I'm going to speed kills here, double the yardage. Like I want to get in, and then we're going to Hawkinson. Looks like it was a 9-9, so 18. Give it +2, make it a 0. It's extra 15 plus the total strength, which is 2, and so it's 10. 10 plus the 15 is 25. Plus the speed kills to double it, makes it 50. That's how we calculated in this particular game. Of course, it would only be the play itself that would double. So if you look at it, there's 2, makes it a 10. It would double that, be 20, and then of course the 15 from Hawkinson, which would put it to 25 total yards instead of 50. So a lot of things that you can say we will have to go back once the CRD is out and kind of look at it a little bit, but not so much. Just got to kind of play how it all works. Looks like we're talking about the speed kills Barry double again here, which does not work for sure. Looks like a good 3 minutes have gone by since I took over the ball in that particular spot. So, obviously, when we're looking at, you know, the game itself coming into uh, pro level, adding an extra tick to the clock on each down or each play adds an additional tick, and then you've got, the timer for big events is something that we definitely need to look at to see if there's going to be, some type of change that comes across. So. End of the play, I'm going to golf, looks like. Or maybe I'm going to run it with golf. Yeah, it looks like that's going to be the case. Looks like I gained 10 yards here Took a timeout. Got 5 in hand that aren't doing me a whole lot, so we're gonna yard. All passes. Looks like a 4, so 20. 20 current yards. At this point, I'm looking if there's a good time to solo strategy here, but with it being a 5, like I don't have a lot. So I go to challenge the defense, see if I can actually gain um, a bigger chunk of yards than just the 20. Looks like 8 and 5. So with the Lions, I'll give it the +2, so it's expended, and at that point it's a 5. So I literally gained 5 yards from the challenge the defense here. But kind of wanted to get rid of card in hand and also just kind of, push it. Plus we got Barry who's going to double. So Barry's going to get in and put us up 14-0. 14 ticks on the clock. He's going to take a timeout to give his offense a chance to go ahead and get in. At the end of the play, we drew sack, which is great for us to just be like, no, we don't want you to get in the end zone. So we're going to try everything we can. All right, so he drew into the unique play again. I have a 9. He has an X, so he's going to choose 0, make it a 9, go for 45 yards here. And with Mac Jones, it's unstoppable. So we're going to go 45 plus the Patriots, 5 extra synergy, so it's going to be a 50-yard total. Pardon me, it's late. On-field adjustments, I'm going to do sack. I'm going to try and go for sack again, 4 through 5. I got a 7. He's got a 6. That's a 3. And then Lion Synergy +2, make it a 5. It hits and says he only goes minus 10 yards. Puts him at the 15. He's going to take a timeout. So at the 15, 85 yards to pay dirt. Let's go for it here. Draw at the end of the play, which is strip sack. Strip sack says on a 0 through 1, the offense loses 10 yards, and if on a 0, you gain possession of the ball. He goes run middle on a 4. I go run left, run right on a 9. So it's a 3, which is 15. 15 yards here. Plus the Patriots synergy of 10. It's going to put it at 25 total yards. Conversation going on here for on-field adjustments. He's going to play speed kills. So he's going to lose 10 yards and gain double the yardage on his on-field adjustment. Response, I'm going to strip sack. So in here, he loses an additional 10 yards instead of yards gained or lost in the play. So this is a situation that we sent for clarification on this because I need on a 0 through 1 and it hits. And so he loses 10 yards. I'm going to call timeout. And based on the rule, speed kills would have put him at the 5. He would have lost 10 more yards, which would have put him in the end zone, and I would have recovered. I think how that should work is that I would get the ball back in the end zone and score a touchdown based on how that all should work because he would lose 10 and then he would just off the speed kills put him at the 5 and then strip sack says he would lose 10 more yards but then I gain possession of the ball on the play succession. So technically what we did here is we just put it at the 5 saying that you couldn't actually score on something like that, and we're checking on clarification for that. But so I take over the ball. 9 minutes left here on the 5. One timeout. This is. I draw my 5th card, which puts challenge the defense out there. He plays a clean slate to say no more. I'm checking on Chug because I only have run rights in my hand, and he says if you do a run middle. He says if you do a run middle, he can make it so that you only, gain like 5 yards instead. So like all my run middles, and I have a ton of them. In fact, every card in my hand is run middle. So, it's there he goes blocking it. And here, this is one of the parts where I got greedy and trying to just go and go for the throat and just try and score here. And honestly, I got stuck with the plays. Obviously, you can see it was all mediums, and it was going to get stopped. And I really needed to just kick the 3 points, go up 17-0, right then and there. And then time does expire for the half, so it puts us at 15 again. And of course, we've got about 7.5 minutes left in the game timer. So we were able to complete a half, 14-0. However, we're definitely not going to finish the entire game within that time frame. It's like medium pass, long pass, and he does medium pass. So I actually stopped this dead on. Medium pass versus medium pass. Didn't think I think he was running out of options on his end too. When you see him playing so he's gonna draw off sides here, which is fine. Just gain the 5 yards and replay the down. But he was kind of he burned that card, get it out of his hand. Doesn't do anything on offense. Doesn't really do anything for him on defense. So, that was one of the big things is that card not being unique. Looks like he goes short pass, and I go medium pass and long pass. So he's gonna get it. But that's one of the things of that card not being all unique, and it says all passes was very, very devastating as far as like the way the game, it really warped the game on how you would actually play the game. So they're looking at that card actually being a unique or stamped unique. And so I think whatever the case may be, thought maybe this would be cute, and it was fine. I honestly think it was fine. If looks like I'm gonna go Hutchinson here. Why not? I go Hutchinson, try to steal the ball, and I gotta choose grit. We didn't choose anything. Let's try that again. Just got overzealous and flipped it over too quickly, or maybe I did. No, it looks like I did call it on this one. I know there's a spot in one of these that I did not call it, but we had to redo it. But looks like we did call it. He missed, and even if I were to plus it or minus it, it would have missed. So we just let it go, or I just let it go. But anyways, um, so with that play being unique or not unique, what that does is it makes it so the meta, quote unquote, the meta of like top tier tournament type gaming, you would have to run things that say I'm unstoppable. So Mac Jones, Josh Allen superstar, a lot of those things, so that you are essentially not carrying, especially in the passing game, when you're talking about doing passes and they can run all passes over and over and over and over again. It's like, okay, well, now um he's gonna not this Sunday my challenge the defense here. He wants to gain his yards. He was thinking about not this Sundaying it, but at this point we got Jeff Okuda. We might as well just go that route. Gonna need to, yeah, I left it out there because I knew I was gonna tackle with Okuda. But that it just pushes the fact that looks like 10 yards. It just pushes the fact that you'd have to run those particular cards. And you have to build it under that, and then of course, looks like I'm gonna -2 this as well. But it just makes it so that you have to plan and prepare for all that. Now, if they change it back to it being unique and you not having to worry about it, especially with the unique rule to say, well, you can only run one of this or one of that, um, it really makes it so that um, the game is more of an offensive battle. It's going to be, I get the ball, I score, I get the ball, I score, I get the ball, I score. And of course, looking like we're going to use team synergy here at the 50-yard line. This is the furthest that Kusick has actually gotten. He's actually gotten positive yards and gotten 25 yards right now on third down. So he is looking at moving to the 50. And during prior to selecting play, I'm going to team synergy and see if he's going to counter this or not. It goes back to him as far as the stack, and then I'm going to go sideline adjustment. And I'm going to pick up my strip sack because why not? Gotta try to make a move here. Now my boys are ready. So yeah, it just kind of changes a little bit as far as the planning, and then it kind of helps to make a lot of other things good. I won't get into too much of that until the CRD comes out and be like, okay, well, this is good and this is good. He goes with medium pass, and I do short pass, and it's not going to hit. So it's definitely one of those things that fourth down, 9 ticks on the clock at the 50. Um, it's going to be interesting to see what happens when it comes to a quote unquote meta game and exactly how, oof, a fatigue. Now I'm thinking about not this Sunday, but We do not this Sunday. And then he not this Sundays, and my not this Sunday. So my guys are tapped, his guys are tapped. He's at the 50, and it is fourth down, 9 ticks on the clock. He's got something up his sleeve, but I also think, well, I've got strip sack, so I'm kind of okay, right? That's kind of how I feel. He does a sideline adjustment to draw a couple cards, take a look at them, put one in his hand, right, the other on the bottom. I'm looking, and at this point, I have so many run middles that I'm just trying to dump run middle out of my hand. Doesn't matter what the defense is. It just let's get it out of my hand. That way, I can not have it for offense because it was real bad against his particular defender Chung, and so we just let it go. But it'll be interesting to see what cards are unique or get deemed unique. Looks like he run middle, and I go middle right, which it's a 7/7, so 14. So makes it a 4. That's 20 plus his 3 ticks up there, so that would put him at 15 more. So looking at 35, and he's going to sharpen his focus, triple the yardage. I'm going to play strip sack and hope that it gets it on a 4 through 5, and I can only go +2. 9 and 4 is a 3. And I think I might have used the +2 already, is what I'm looking at here. And time was called here for that, but it looks like that I did miss it. I did do +2 at one point already. So it looks like he's going to get in and score for his first points of the game. So real unfortunate. Missed that particular trigger. If I had the Lions +2 or -2, which I already used -2, whatever the case may be, it's late, but I could have had it. But I mean, I'm already up. This is his first score of the game, and eventually becomes his last score of the game. But being up 14-7, he said before in the meet and greet that we had, he definitely wasn't prepared for what the Lions did. But he knows that he fell in love with Mac Jones. He said I'm playing the Patriots and played it all the way through. And didn't change teams. One of the rules in the league was, you can build teams off synergy teams only, and you don't have to be committed. You can play as many different teams as you want. So I took that as an opportunity to build tons of teams and then just kind of put them out there and say, do I like this team? Does it do what it needs to do synergy wise? How good is the synergy? And got to see quite a bit of things. I'll end up hopefully what I'll do is I'll put up some deck techs on league play and those specific type of teams right now, since it's not really going to affect the rules or anything like that. So I can definitely pull those up and kind of go that route. Looks like you got an outperform, and I play outperform my own, and he plays an outperform, and I play outperform. This is classic 2019 right here. Double outperform on either side. So I'm going to get 9, which is going to make it 45 yards. And on the successful 45 yards, it looks like TJ is going to do his work. And a 7, 2 is a 9. If I give it +2, it hits. And it will do so. So 45 plus 15, 60. And we're going to use Barry for the half, which will double, give me first down. Now, if we calculate this, ladies and gentlemen, that's 45 45 times 2 from Barry would make it 90 plus Hakushin of 15. I mean, we're still getting it. We're still going to get a score here. We would still get a score regardless. And that exhausts Barry for the half. So he's done now. He's gonna sit out. I do make a mistake initially and put him on the table because I forget that I really forget, but I was so used to grabbing and throwing my team out there that I forget that D Swift is my backup after I use Barry. That gives me an extra, like 15 yards as long as all my players are different positions. So here we are. Another run play, counter on the Patriots. Gonna do Hutchinson. Let's see, does he get it? Does he get it? I'm checking he doesn't have any fives in there. So I know anything plus 5 will be 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, plus 2, make it a 3. Yes, sir. Yep. Yep. Takeover down 21-7. Now, I'll tell you in this particular format, when you're talking team synergy, you can only build a team from one team and put their synergy on there. Hutchinson is amazing because you can pick the grit and then you can modify the grit. When he is by himself, like I would never put him in a rainbow deck and be like, this guy's great. He's definitely not. Being able to you choose a grit from 1 to 10, you get a 10% chance to be able to hit that. And the Lions gives you an extra 40%. So you're like 50% chance. So he's currently 2 for 2. If you haven't been keeping score in this, he's 2 for 2, and he's, been able to take over this game. Or no, I think he's 2 of 3. He's 66% because I think he did miss one on the last drive. I missed that. So 66%, not bad. 2 out of the 3 times so far. And if you look at it, that's great because he's got, an additional 40%. I had thought about putting in things like the freezing rain. It's like a 3. Hakushin can get +2 to make it happen, or -2 to make it happen. And then Swifty says additional 15. So basically we're going 30. Minus whatever his stuff is on that side. Also still have a sharpened focus, but I think this doesn't seem great. And I think at this point I just TJ. But it'll be definitely, like I said, interesting to see. I don't think that obviously Jeff Okuda is definitely a great addition to a rainbow deck. Anyways, what I was saying about the freezing rain. I was gonna put freezing rain in the deck. I just didn't find room. Like I said, I mean, I had solo strategy in there, and that just seemed to make the cut before freezing rain. Because freezing rain says when you determine grit for a turnover, you can plus or -1 it. And I felt like I didn't need an additional +1. It just felt like as you can see, he had plenty of clean slates to get rid of it anyway. I wasn't I wasn't a big fan on let's just drop my uh, weather card out there to get blown up. Um, and as you can see here, I'm playing solo strategy here. So if I only have run plays in my discard pile, I can play a run play. He not this Sunday's it, and I just give him another one. Really, just get it out of my hand at this point. This is the opportune time that I see that I want to use it because he does have a 2 on the table, and if I play this run right here, it's going to give me an 8 to put me at 40 yards. And so, excellent, excellent move. Solo strategy is very, very good if you're going to do an all run deck, which I do have an idea for a pretty good run deck. Dallas Cowboys have a new lineman that says your run rights are unstoppable on an exhaust. So you could do that with solo strategy, a little nifty idea, kind of get them going. We're going to TJ here. Oops, went all the way up there. And TJ says, no, not going to make it. And we're going to do Swift. 40 plus 15, that's 55. Yeah. Looking snazzy. And of course, I believe it's minus 10. So I go up 28 to 7. And of course, at the end of this play, we're going to. This is where I'm actually kind of telling him that Chung is kind of really strong on the deck against like the plays that I currently have. So I'm kind of stay away from run middle, which gives him a big advantage as far as understanding like what I'm trying to do on offense. So from here, he gets he gets the idea. So at the end turn, I'm gonna draw 2 plays, put one on top, and then I'm gonna Williams to ready and draw 2 actions to refill my hand. But yeah, Kusick definitely catches on right away when I explain to him that his run middle guy is really dampering my run middle strategy part. And with only 3 ticks left on the clock, up 28 to 7, it's like, okay, well, we've got this. And my offense doesn't really go for very much more. If you look at it, just kind of runs into a wall of mid plays. Here's another. He's the 3rd time he has hit the unique run, and he's going to sharpen focus to go 3 plus, and I'm just going to say outperform to make it a 0. No further responses. Looks like I have 1 sharpen focus and 3 defensive actions, which I end up getting stuck again on this here. But man, what a rough time. I mean, to get 3 unique plays is pretty solid. Oh, looks like a 5, 8. I don't know what that was about. Oh, because of the tackling. Technically, we still needed to assign tacklers because it did go somewhere. So I just Hakashin to see if I could pick it off, which I think I have to double check that. If we say he missed, he's 50%. He's 2 of 4. And then I draw at the end of the play, and of course it's all red. 1 sharpen focus. So even at the 25, I miss another opportunity to kick a field goal here. Not doing too well here for actions, being that they're all defensive actions. So run left, he blocks it. I've got nothing to that. Let's, have to suck it up, Buttercup. I don't have a way to dump anything out of my hand, so I'm stuck with it. I was gonna let it go. It looks like he called timeout, wanted me to try and get in there and score. So I'm like, all right, we'll run the reverse here. Which sadly enough, if I had solo strategy, my idea was to wait for the perfect time and then solo strategy that into play. But it never happened. Of course, you saw when I kept solo strategy in my hand for so long because it never came up in the situation to be like, well, I need it to happen, and it just never did. It just never did. So, um, when I finally did it, he not the Sunday, which then made me play a second one, which I could have used it here to get there, but looks like we're gonna sharpen focus and we're gonna grit, and it looks like a 9 plus looks like 16. There's no way Hakushin is gonna hit. So the run reverse is going to give it minus 20 because all my guys are ready. Which if I choose Swift, it's an extra 15. He's out of position me. I can't do anything. So I literally looks like I gained 15 yards on that. Oh, and because I triple focus or sharpened focus, I turned over the ball on the 10. So his timeout did help him out a bit there to get the ball back based on that information. So he takes the second timeout. There's 1 tick left on the clock. Looks like we got about 9 minutes left in the game itself. Looks like run middle for 4, run middle, and I've got a 7, so it's a 1. Going for 5 yards at the moment. Plus 5 more from the synergy, so it's 10. And here I'm just thinking, just dump. He's gonna go for look like speed kills here. But then he realized he was on the 10, so I didn't think he could do that. And so I was just, let's go ahead and just strip sack. And I just wanted to dump all of my red at this point, just get rid of it. See how many times it takes. 7 and 7 is 14. Strip sacks on a 0. If I had played sack, I would have hit it. I would have pushed him back 10 and actually gotten a safety here. And that's what I was thinking. Like at this point, why didn't I just dump my hand? Why not just dump my hand? Would have been the smart idea. Now I'm gonna do the rookie here. Looks like 6. Oh, yeah, this is the one. We went too fast. Like, whoops, I didn't pick a number. So I go into there, take a look how many 5s he's got. 3, 4. So he's got quite a bit. So I don't want to choose the 5 or the 3. I gotta choose 5. 6 and 8. That's 14. And then we will boost it by whatever we need to boost it. And that's 3 of 5, ladies and gentlemen, on that. Say he hit 3 of 5. It's pretty high chances with the Lion synergy. In this format, definitely really good. So in this case, I do take a timeout, 1 tick on the clock. Do have a speed kills. We're at the 10. We technically should be able to go right, but as you can see, we only have 1 run right, and he understands at this point that I'm not going to do run middle. So run left, run right. is the best call to make here. Let's see what he does. Run. Let's see. I think it's run right. Right. Run middle, run right. Yeah. So he gets it. I take a timeout. At this point, I mean, I could kick another field goal. We're talking about 9 points of field goals that we leave on the table here. I even have a speed kills at this point, but if you look at my hand again, there's another right from the middle. There's a left, left middle. Yep. He's got to shuffle up and draw. All passes. But all passes is a 5. So I'm like, let's speed kills, go back 10. And then double the yardage. He's going to false start. So I said I lost 10 from the speed kills and then the 5 from there. And we're still playing it with the same rules as if false start wasn't an omni negate. So I would lose 10, double it up. I'm at the 25. And I still don't get in. Replay the down, so no timeouts, no drawing extra stuff. I think I just go straight to pick plays here. Draw play, pick a play, run left. Defense is I think he stopped it here. So I call my last timeout. Draw an action, which is another red. Can't team synergy because all my stuff is ready. So really stuck on the defense. Like I said, I should just dump my hand in reds and kind of gone from that. Yeah, we just call it here. Looks like he's showing me his hand here, and of course I showed him. I think I told him like I had all reds in my hand. That's why he showed me. He's like, oh, all greens, and he's on defense. So he was telling me, what do you want? I give you whatever you need. Triple, sharpen focus, or it looks like you run right. He goes for all passes. Just at this point, whatever. Try to get in there, and still not going to happen. We're going to go 10 yards. It looks like Akashin is going to 9 plus 6 is 5. No way I can get there, so he's a failure. Will Swift for an extra 15. He's going to minus 15. Well, minus 20 because of they're already before that. And so then we double and minus 15. It's just not enough. Looks like Matthew Judon is going to get minus 20. So I gained 10 yards. Gained 10 yards, and that's it. I mean, definitely could have, tried a field goal. But game in the books. What can you say? It was a lot of fun. The Lions, really really good. Go figure for. Yeah, he's got it there, left and right. I ran right, so you got it. But definitely a good game. Had a lot of fun building the deck. Had a lot of fun, going through it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely, um, the format, the league format. I think a lot of you guys, if you haven't played, um, don't be afraid. Obviously, you can see this is Tabletop Simulator, full game in Tabletop Simulator. I think it's a lot of fun. Um, the league play gives you a full week of, being able to speak with your opponent, get a time frame, whether that be morning, evening, weekends, and it gives you time to be able to, play a game that we all love, get promos, and of course, just put some deck ideas out there and actually get to play the game. So I encourage everybody to make sure when we do the next one after the CRD comes out, we didn't have one this month. We're still waiting on the CRD, so we'll see. Maybe we'll just do another, all league play, or maybe some rules with the old CRD for now, and kind of go that route just so that we can get people to get some games in and start playing and throw their ideas out there for now, and just kind of go with what it is. Have some fun. But thank you guys so much for tuning in and enjoying um, the game. Hope you enjoyed as much as I did, giving it to you, and just kind of talking through it a little bit. But good hanging out with you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. You guys stay safe. Have a good one. We'll see you next time.